simply unreal. How can you be a superhero when there is no fiction work? So we have one more definition. Any person regarded as having extraordinary ability in some field, even that is a superhero. You need an example? Let's have it. Do you know who is? Can anyone guess?
No.
No one?
No idea. No idea. Never seen him.
He is Kevin Feige. I repeat, Kevin Feige. He is the president of Marvel Studio, the biggest franchise of any superhero. In fact, the biggest franchise in movie industry. So, just being the president of the biggest franchise make him a superhero? No. He's a superhero because of his vision. When in 90s, Marvel Studios was bankrupt, they sold off their hot properties, X-Men to 20th Century Studio and Spider-Man in 1999 to Sony Pictures. Then they were left with just B-grade heroes. All their popular heroes were sold off. It is in 2005 when Mr. Kevin envisioned about having a shared universe, and he was not the president then. The president then was Avi Arad, but he did not agree with the idea, and eventually quit the position, and then Mr. Kevin became the president, and the rest is history. As I speak, these are the superhero left with him, and he used them. And with 25 movies, the studio has collected $23 billion worldwide, and that too with two movies post the COVID era. And not only that, in 13 years, they were able to acquire Spider-Man and X-Men, which they already sold off. So they acquired them, and also they acquired the Fantastic Four. So whatever they lost, they were able to acquire them, and they achieved a huge success with one vision from the man. What was the simple moral here? Very simple. This one, I think everybody knows: half empty glass, half full glass. He did not see that all his his superheroes has been sold off. You see what they have left with. He used all of them, and finally, we have the biggest universe in the world. Moving forward, now let's talk about the meeting. Our meeting, the structure of our meeting has three important parts. First is prepared speeches. The speaker will speak for 5 to 7 minutes, followed by a unique session today. We are not having a table topic session. We are having an education session with workshop by Mr. DTM Rajesh. And the final session will be the evaluation session. Let me now introduce to you all the roles here. The first one is the timer, and he is Toastmaster Jijo. So I would like to request Toastmaster Jijo to just give us a brief of his role.
Thank you, TM Mustafa. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, as a timer, I am responsible for monitoring the time for the prepared speeches and speech evaluations. As there is no table topics for today, it will not be there. For the prepared speeches, the time varies with each specific project. For today, it ranges from 5 minimum and 7 minutes to the maximum. Speech evaluation, the time ranges from 2 to 3 minutes. You will see green light when you have met the minimum requirement. The yellow tells you that you start rubbing it up, and the red tells you you have run out of time. I will record the time of each person's speech and give a report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, TM Mustafa.
Okay, moving on. Our next role is our counter. I don't know whether Toastmaster Selambarakan is available or no. Is he available?
He did not join. I'll be taking over that.
Okay. So our counter tonight will be Toastmaster job. Can you just give a brief of your role?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or a pause fillers by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I'll listen to the overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I'll also listen to the filler sounds, including and r. I'll also note when the speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I. This is like a very common word. We every time we use this word, I. At the end of the meeting, I'll provide with a report how many number of times each speakers use this expressions. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmaster, over to you.
Thank you. Now, next role player is our grammarian, and he is none other than Toastmaster Mustafa. So, as a grammarian, my duty will be to pay close attention to all the speakers noting their language usage. I'll pay attention to all the improper language as well as any usage of good sayings, words, quotes, etc. As the grammarian of tonight, I also have my duty is to introduce to you the word of the day. The word of the day today is exemplary. I repeat, exemplary. The meaning is serving as a model or pattern or deserving imitation because of excellence. An example would be as a hospital volunteer, you have given exemplary service to your community. I'll give my report at the end of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster. Again. So as a TMOD, okay. Our next role player is the general evaluator, Toastmaster Hussain. Toastmaster Hussain, can you just give a brief of your role?
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Have you ever realized that we are constantly seeking feedbacks? When we wear something new, we ask, how do I look? When we cook something, we ask, how does it taste? And whenever we are on stage, we ask, how did I perform? So Toastmasters helps to expel this mystery through a dedicated evaluation section. In this section, every speaker and role players are evaluated by a team of evaluators. As the general evaluator today, my role will be to give a comprehensive report on all aspects of the meeting so that we may learn what was good, but more importantly, what could have been better and how. I will present my report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hussain. So now let's begin with the prepared speeches. So first, only I would like to like our timer to give us a brief of the prepared speeches, and then we will begin. We have all the speakers. Yes.
For the prepared speeches, the time varies from minimum 5 to the maximum 7 minutes. When it reaches 5, the green screen will be shared. When it reaches 6, yellow screen will be shared, and for maximum 7 minutes, red screen will be shared. Actually, please pin me actually for their convenience. Thank you.
Okay, moving forward. Now, let's move to the speeches. Our first speech will be delivered by the Toastmaster Sayed. But before that, I would like his evaluator, Toastmaster Asil, to just explain his objective path, etc. Toastmaster Asil?
Yes, I hear you. It is an honor to evaluate the semester's side. I'm sure he'll do a good job. My target speaker's objectives is for him to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. And he needs to talk about his experience dealing with his mentor. Timer, please note he has 5 to 7 minutes. His title is Not Enough. Not enough. The screen's yours.
So TMOD, are we ready to go? Am I audible?
Yes, they are really ready.
Okay. So I start on 3, 2, 1. Fellow Toastmasters, this all happened when I was in my class 9. I got this first thing from a beautiful friend of mine. I was very lucky. My friends were jealous. Few of my other friends also got this when they were in the class 10 and class 11. And I got this even after marriage from my wife. So I would ask Toastmaster of the day, our Superman, can you tell me what is this I'm talking about? Unmute and guess. Okay, kindly mute yourself. Then it is advice. This is what I got from my 9th class. I was very lucky. Then I'm still getting today from my wife also. So going further, fellow Toastmasters. Here, Toastmaster Syed giving his speech, how Toastmasters helped me become better in my performance. You all have heard about the story of a fish. There was a fish who used to perform challenging very beautifully, swimming in a pond. This small goldfish was the champion within all the swimmers in that pond. And it was like no one ever could win her. Very wonderful. Then all of a sudden, a monkey came and challenged this fish. Come on, fish. I know you're doing better in the pond. Let's climb a tree and see. I will teach you how to climb the tree. Just 2 hands here, 2 legs there. You can climb a tree. What happened? The fish, okay, I'm doing best in the pond. So why not a try? So I should give a try. 2 days, 3 days. You know what happened? This goldfish actually lost hope. And one fine day, it suicide in the water and died. My dear fellow Toastmasters, this is what happens, when you don't have a right mentor in your life. The fish is best in the water. But if you tell the same fish to climb a tree, it's not possible at all. Not in one day and not in a lifetime. So coming here in this Toastmaster journey, this is what happened to me. I'm very lucky, not before the Toastmaster itself, like the first mentor whom I would like always grateful, and I'm like within my heart, my big bro, our ex-president, Toastmaster Varghese. He was the one who inspired me. Syed, you need to join Toastmaster. I know you're doing better, but join here. You will get a better community. You will get friends, mentors who will not only treat you as a friend, guide you and get you to the next level. And you see here, fellow Toastmasters, this Syed is like so comfortable in front of you. It's all because of these mentors. Going further, the second mentor, he is the champion DTM, none other than Alan Paul. Who doesn't like him? When he gives his speeches, I don't know how, I actually feel jealous, man, how is he still in London, giving all his time with his vlog and still doing the conferences, helping friends around, everybody, and even getting personal advices to each and every one. DTM Alan Paul actually changed the way how I need to speak. My first speech, the fish in the pond, I know what mistakes I had done. I was a bit overconfident. I didn't did the pauses, but still my evaluator evaluated me well, got me that next level, what I need to improve. Things went well, alhamdulillah. And at the back end, this DTM Alan Paul, what he did, he personally contacted me and he mentioned, Sayed, you're good at this, you're good at this, very straightforward and very good mentoring. This is what we need. So here at Toastmaster, you get this. And third, none other than, who could I say? I was thinking who would be my third mentor. I think this mentor himself doesn't know that he's my mentor. He is none other than our Job Daniel. Surprise! Job, I took you as a mentor. When you started Toastmaster, I thought, what would Job do? But today I see him, the growth, I envy seeing him. I said, Job, how could you do this? How could you do that? I know I'm taking advices from Job to become a better Toastmaster. So Job, it's a surprise for you. You're my hidden mentor. So fellow Toastmaster, this Syed in front of you was good in a pond. But what Toastmaster has brought me, has taken me out of this pond and placed me in the ocean. So today, this Toastmaster Syed, a small goldfish, is going with the flow, with the tide of this big ocean and swimming with the whales. So fellow Toastmaster, if you want to be the best, join Toastmasters. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
That was wonderful, wonderful speech. And the surprise was really good. And I really agree for all of us. And he's doing really great, all his job, and he's helping us as well. So moving on, I would like to first request everyone to give you a valuable feedback. I'll give you 1 minute time and just shall we move ahead? Okay, continuing with our story about Marvel. Do you know who decided Iron Man will be the first movie? Anyone can guess? No one? Okay. It is none other than a group of children. Yes. According to one movie historian, Ben Prince, Marvel wanted to begin with Captain America, but he did not begin with them. They instead called a meeting with a group of children and they showed them a presentation of all the superheroes they had with their photos and on their superpowers. And then they offered them a group of toys and asked them which toys they like. And the overwhelming response was about Iron Man, and this is where they decided they will start the universe with Iron Man. Okay, so who played the role of Iron Man? Do you know the name of the actor?
Tony, Robert Downey Jr.
Yes, but he was not the first choice actor. Do you know who was the first choice? It was Tom Cruise. Can you imagine Tom Cruise being the Iron Man? This is how he would have lived. Okay, now let's go back to our meeting. So we have our second speaker, and he is our acting president as well. So before moving forward, I would like his evaluator, DTM Rajesh, to give out his objective and pathways, please.
Good evening, everyone, and excuse me for my voice. Actually, I am very sick, and when I saw the picture that Tom Cruise could be the Iron Man, I felt more sick. I love Iron Man. I love Robert Downey Jr. I hate Tom Cruise, so that's a statement. Now let me move to the speaker I'm going to evaluate today. Hopefully I will be able to deliver my evaluation in a good way. He is embarking Persuasive Influence Pathway, Level 3, Project 1, and the title is Conflict Resolution. And for the timer to note down, his timer from 5 to 7, he has 2 objectives. The first one is to develop or enhance his understanding of the steps and the strategies to address conflict, and also to share some aspects of his experience learning about and or resolving conflict. So please, everyone, let's hear from him and give him all the support. With that, I will return back the screen to our Toastmaster of the day. Back to you.
Marie. Okay, so Toastmaster Job, are you ready? Okay, let's begin then.
Thank you. There's a very famous saying. It's more rewarding to resolve a conflict than to dissolve a relationship. Just hear it again. It's more rewarding to resolve a conflict than to dissolve a relationship. This saying has so much depth and action in it, which you will understand further in my speech. Dear Toastmasters, fellow members and guests, what are conflicts? Anyone can tell what are conflicts?
Disagreement?
Yes. It is disagreement at the same time, any difference between two people. If there is any disagreement, any incompatibility, any argument, or anything negative, we call it as conflict. But why negative? Because it is our perception that conflicts are always bad. But it is not important that conflicts are always bad if managed effectively. Conflicts have the power to improve us and to make us more mature. And in the same situation, rather transform us. Can there be any situation if there is no conflicts? No, never. Conflicts are inevitable. Even if you are sleeping or set alone in a dark, empty room, your mind will be full of conflicts. When a conflict happens, you can see that good people turn into a monster. Most conflicts start out at a very low level as a very small upset and builds and builds and builds and grows into a full-scale battle. As a professional, later or sooner, you will run into conflicts, as we all don't think alike. And if at all we think alike, we think very less. So now my question is, now that we know that conflicts are unavoidable, then should we let them run over, or should we learn to manage it effectively? I think everyone has the same reply. We should learn to manage conflicts effectively. Let's understand the types of conflicts. The first type of conflict is conflict of personality. Well, we all know that someone that is in a bit difficult to work with, or they are always a troublemaker, this type of person has a contentious personality. The second one is simply a misunderstanding type, in which both the parties don't necessarily have the same ideas. And the third one is issue. It could be a very small issue and the person creates a conflict based on specific issues. Today, I'm going to tell you some of the ways how you can manage the conflicts effectively. Just before the meeting, I came from a walk and I told my wife to make a glass of lemon juice. So here it is. Yeah, it's so sour. Now it's time for conflict with my wife. Before I go, I think I have few options on how to resolve this conflict with my wife. So if I choose to ignore this conflict, nothing's gonna happen. It's all fine. And I may let it happen and let it go. It's not really going to affect me. This can be a good thing for a short term, but in long term, it can be cancer. It's going to infest and keep on infesting, and eventually it will blow up if my wife will continue to make this sour juice. The second is, if I choose to resolve the conflict with force, using my dominance, and tell my wife, why did you make it so bad? Maybe she might not argue with me at first. This type of conflict resolution by force can be effective in some situations, but not in all situations. But in the world of work or in a professional life, we don't necessarily have this autocratic leadership anymore. So this may not be the best approach. The another method to resolve conflict is a compromise. I will check with my wife what is the reason and the situation for making this sour juice. Compromise is basically between two parties. They get together, they agree, and they put their differences aside, and they see each other's point of view and try to put in each other's shoe. Like, I will try to understand why my wife did this. So it's not always easy, but it is going to work and it is effective method. And then there is a conflict resolution type called as collaboration. When I will collaborate with my wife and add more water to the sour juice and make it as 2 cups, so we both can enjoy. This collaborative resolution is again similar to compromise with a structured framework. Or as just we speak and listen to each other and brainstorm ideas. The net result is that none of the parties will think that either of them are right or wrong. Can you see this coin? It has 2 sides. There are always 2 sides of an argument, always 2 sides of a story. And this is one mistake that we sometimes make when resolving a conflict. We always try to resolve the conflict by looking at one side. It's important to hear from the person on the other side. And remember, both sides should be open. Conflicts leads to unity. It leads to change. Conflict is good when it is addressed. Resolving conflicts respectively is just like adjusting the lens. So learn the loving, caring act of early confronting, and most importantly, conflict resolution respectfully. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much.
Oh, wonderful speech. There's no conflict that it was really, really good. Now, I would like everyone to provide feedback. It is very important for all of us to give your valuable feedback. So I'll give you 1 minute time. I think let's move forward. So, do we have the polls now, or will it be taking place later? Okay, it will take place later. So, before we move forward to the next session, let let me ask you a simple question to all of you. What's your superpower? I would like you, all of you, to unmute yourself and tell me your strength and what is your superpower that makes you a superhero. So let me begin first myself. My superpower is numbers. I love numbers. I have a good arithmetic skills, and that makes me a superhero. I'm a number man. Now, let me ask each one of you one by one. I think we have a very special guest tonight, DTM Rajesh. I think he looks like already looks like a superhero. So, what your superpower?
Good evening, Toastmaster Mustafa. I think my superpower would be learning to unlearn. I love to learn new things, so that's something which I always carry with me. Learn to unlearn.
That's a great thing. Okay. Next, Toastmaster Toastmaster job.
Hello? Yes. My superpower would be to learn from my mistakes so that I won't repeat the mistakes in the future. And I want to spread the mistakes that I have done so that I can pass it on to my colleagues, my friends, so that they don't do this mistake and I can help them or I can be their superhero.
Wonderful. What about DTM Reach?
Right now, I don't have any superpower or any power at all.
I think this is
Sorry?
this is also a superpower to come out despite of being sick.
Yeah, her
Thank you.
superpower is a dedication to any task she does.
Thank you so much. I wouldn't say anything.
Asil,
Yes. What is my
what's
superpower?
your
I guess if I have to choose, it could be math and science and critical thinking. And does my kind heart count?
Okay, that is great. Uh, who will be the next one? Toastmaster Jijo.
Hi. In my case, I'm yet to find my superpower. I hope sometime soon I can, get some superpowers and display it.
Right now, what is the superpower right now?
No, I don't find anything as superpower in me.
I'm sure you might be having. You haven't discovered yet. Maybe.
Probably.
No problem. Okay, Toastmaster Sayed.
Yeah, bro. Hi, Toastmaster.
Okay, I think your superpower is to get invisible.
Can you come again, please? I didn't heard you.
Sorry?
Hello?
What is your superpower?
Okay. Ask me in the last, bro. I'm just driving. Ask me in the last. Let me just mute my Google Maps. 2 minutes, huh? I'll come back. Sorry, Toastmasters. 2 minutes.
What is that makes you a superpower?
No, he is driving.
Okay.
He will answer later. He is driving right now.
Then he should not be a superhero. He should try. Okay. Now let's ask the newest member, Toastmaster Hakeem.
Hello, hi Toastmasters, how are you?
Good evening. How are you?
Awesome, all good. Good evening, guys. So I'll be quick. My superpower is to be calm and patient in difficult situations, in angry situation. I'm very resistant to being getting angry.
It's a very, in this time it is very important.
So
I
if
think
my wife makes a sour lime juice, I will not go and fight. I will give her lime juice to her. I'll make her more strong.
maybe she will fight with you.
Yes, and that's my superpower, to be calm.
That's great. Okay, we have newest one more Toastmaster, Nazni. Is she available? Okay, let me ask our guest, Romero, right? Romero.
Romario. Yeah. My superpower, I think, is my smile. I try to smile with everyone, even if the other person is angry. So that's what I feel my superpower.
Oh, that is also very good superpower. You can make people laugh. You smile, and you can convince people with your smile. So that is a very good.
Correct.
So now moving on to next segment.
Me, my superpower, Toastmaster of the day. I'm ready.
Yes, is here.
Okay. Okay, so as of now, I don't have any superpowers, but the one superpower that I would want right now very badly is like, I want to know what women want. Ask me why.
No, this is impossible. I will not ask why.
Because today is my wedding anniversary, so I'm just totally out of nuts.
Oh my
Congrats,
God.
congrats.
Thank you, Toastmasters.
You
Okay.
get a superhero.
I think Nazneen has raised her hand. Nazneen.
Okay. Toastmaster Nazni, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, yes, am I audible now?
Yes, audible.
I don't have any superpower at, but it will be from Toastmaster if I am giving my time to learn something, because I have a a problem to speak fluently in English. So I am here for learning something. Till when I learning something, it will be for me it's superpower and nothing else. Thank you.
So you are a superhero in the making, and I'm sure you are going to become a very fluent speaker, and that will be your superpower very soon. So now let's move on to the next segment. This time we are not having the table topic. We are having a very special session, education session. Let me ask you one thing. Are you confused about how to write speeches? Well, if you are, don't worry. Our Dreamweaver co-founder, DTM Rajesh Venugopal, is here to help us prepare for speech that can help us in upcoming contest season. I would like to hand it over to our DTM Rajesh.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dreamweavers family. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Mustafa, for the wonderful introduction. Right, I'll just share my screen. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so when we formed Dreamweavers, it was we decided that instead of having table topics, yes, very important, but prior speech is very important, but every meeting there needs to be one special segment, which is probably a workshop by one of the Toastmasters who are around and who could come and share their knowledge with us. Okay, we started this journey as a DTM journey, which means anyone who becomes a distinguished Toastmaster gets the opportunity to come to Dreamweavers to give this workshop. So it was like we made Dreamweavers a very prestigious one where the DTMs could actually come and give their workshops, right? And I'm so happy that I'm actually giving my workshop here. So, the world is a circle, life is a circle, and it just keeps coming back, right? So on that note, good evening to all Dreamweavers. It's a very special club for me. Today, what you are going to have is an educational workshop. So when you hear workshops, don't get into a serious mode. I really want you to relax, enjoy, because that's what we do in Dreamweavers. And today's session, what we're going to do is it's a basic. We are going to set up the basic as to how do we prepare a speeches in the first place. Now, this is not only for the contest; it's for a lot of new members who are there, right? You need to give your icebreaker. Icebreaker, pretty easy. You need to talk about yourself. But then what next after that? And this is where we need to push the members. Please give your speeches. And the member comes and tells us, no, maybe next time, because you have some ideas in your head. But then to make a speech and then to narrate a speech, that's a different experience or a ballgame altogether. So that's exactly what we are going to cover in the next 20 minutes. I want to call it a fun and learning. So relax, enjoy. You'll not learn if you're not having fun. Okay. Coming to my next screen, today's agenda, only 4 parts. Ideas, we'll talk about ideas. Second is how to convert any idea which you have into speeches. Third, we'll have a group activity. So we will all work together as a team. And then fourth, we'll conclude the session. Are you all with me? Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
A small introduction about myself. I'm a corporate trainer by profession. I take care of learning and development for a company called EcoWord Facilities Management. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. And in Toastmasters, in terms of contest, I'm a division contest runner-up for international speech category. One thing which I'm very passionate about, and which I also mentioned my superpower, is learning to unlearn. I love learning new skills. And that's exactly why I'm totally hooked to Toastmasters since the last 7 years. Now, ideas. I have mentioned it on the screen, but I just like to hear from you all. What are ideas? Okay, ideas are thought process, right? Unmute. Okay, unmute. We have a small team here, so let's have a small engaging session together, right? So you all get ideas, right? Or yes. Now, when you get ideas, these ideas are not only in Toastmasters. You get ideas at work, at home. Your son or daughter comes to you, asks you some suggestion. Suddenly, an idea comes up. What are ideas actually? Ideas are basically your own experiences, your own observations, right? These are the things which have probably happened around you. You remember them and you use them later. So that's what ideas are all about, right? The second part of it is speeches. What are speeches? It's just an expression. What you feel, you speak, right? And that should be the basic of your speeches. What you feel should come out. Do not make speeches just to please somebody or just to talk about a normal, to give a moral, a big speech or to tell something nice about something to somebody. Do not make speeches like that. Give a speech which you're passionate about, which you feel, which you probably feel you would be doing that in everyday life. Like today's job speech. Job speech was all about something he felt about, conflicts. He has felt that in his family life. He has felt that in office, and he has thought about it. He has got ideas how to work on it, and that's how he gave a speech. So speech is an expression, an ability to express thoughts and feelings. Okay, all those things basically. Now, how many of you have given icebreakers? Like, is there anybody in the audience who has not attempted a speech till now? Please raise your hands. Is Arij raising her hands? No, that's her profile pic. So all of you have given speeches, right? Oh, Arij has not given speeches, right?
Hakeem has not given speech.
Who? Sorry?
Hakeem.
Hakeem has not given speeches. Okay, no problem, no problem. Just to test where we stand, that's fine. As long as you're giving speeches, we are perfectly fine and aligned. Now, how do I get my eureka moments for my speeches? How do I get my ideas? Okay, so there are two main areas how I get my ideas. I call them collect, and the other one is create. Okay, collect and create. Collect is more like a basket where you keep putting in information. Create is more, here, what you start creating around you, sort of. Now, so that's why when you say collect, what are these? Read. You can read books. How many of you love reading books? Okay. Now, when I say books, it's not only your English novels, okay? You can read regional books also. Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, absolutely fine. It's all about reading. Okay, reading is information. So that's about it. So read. That's the first area where I normally get a lot of my ideas. The second, when the prepared speeches were happening, when Job was speaking or Syed was speaking, how many of you made notes? How many of you made notes today? No? Okay, make notes. Make notes of the key parts of the speech, right? What you felt was the message which was conveyed to you as a person, not the message which he conveyed or she conveyed it. What was the message which resonated with you? Make notes of that. That is an idea which is coming to you. That should be a collection area for you. The third one is revisiting your life through your friends and relatives. Most of us around, on an average, are around what, 35 to 40 years old, right? So 40, that means we have around 10,000 to 12,000 days between us. Okay, 10,000, 12 days, 10,000 to 12,000 memories between us. Even if you try to recollect one memory out of your whole life, that's 10,000 memories you have to keep writing speeches, which means you'll probably write speeches for the end of the life, right? So there's a lot of ideas and a lot of memories within you as a person. Revisit them. How your friends, your relatives, your parents, they are the best people who can actually tell you the stories, right? However old we are, even if you meet our grandparents, don't they tell you, you were naughty when you're a child, you used to do this, you used to trouble us, or maybe you're a very silent child, you used to be so obedient, right? They tell you these stories, right? So what are these? These are the situations which has happened in your life. Ideas. These are all ideas which can help you creating better speeches for you. Newspaper articles. Newspaper articles are basically the news, okay? People who are really interested to know what's happening around you. Keep a tap of that. There are sometimes very interesting stories which keeps coming in, and inspirational stories which keeps coming in newspaper articles. The last and the very favorite one for me, attempt table topics. Did you know table topics are the base of majority of the speeches? I have got many of my ideas by just attempting table topics. Table topics are what? It's just 2 minutes, right? And there are so many quotations, so many situations being shared. I need to keep talking about it. So that gives me an abundance of ideas. So I keep a note of those table topics, and then whenever I need to write a speech, I just revisit those topics again. That's how I get my collection of ideas. Now, I'm coming to the second part of it. I spoke about collection. The second part of ideas is also about creation of ideas. Now, creation of ideas, is something which requires a lot of patience and a lot of efforts, right? One, why? Because it requires a lot of time to be spent on yourself. One is revisiting the notes prepared. That's okay. What I mentioned before in the first step, collection and then revisiting them. That's one area. Second is spending me time. Every one of you are so busy with your work life, with your family life, but there needs to be some time, at least an hour or at least a half an hour or at least a 15 minutes to be spent with yourself only, right? It could be in a closed room, it could be a walk to the beach where you and you alone are spending time. This can actually give you a lot of opportunities to create ideas, okay, which can then be converted into speeches. Starting your personal diary. How many of you write diaries here? Okay, not many. Arij, you should start trying writing a diary. It will be very important for you actually. Okay, writing a diary, if you are really keen to actually pen down your daily life, try attempting that. What will happen is diary writing is not an easy task, but once you start it within like a couple of years, when you revisit those memories, right, that is exactly where you start generating more ideas for speeches, right? Learning new art form or activity. Now, recently I enrolled into Keralipad. Keralipad is a Kerala art form, and for me, I'm not a great fan of art forms. You know, I'm not passionate about it. I'm more an activity or a sports person. But then when I was learning the art, it also taught me the history behind the art. And it was actually giving me a lot of ideas about how some speeches could be related to that particular art form or related to all the positivity and the focus which I was learning through this art form. So definitely learning an art form helps for you. The last two is spend time observing your surroundings. Now, when you're driving a car, how many of you drive here? Okay. Even if you don't drive, how many of you spend time looking around you, right? Looking around the things which are going around you. Maybe the two passengers in your car are probably fighting, or the child who's coming out from the car's hood. There are so many things happening around you. There's a nature, there are birds running around, there are cats going around. So how many of you have this habit of observing the things around you? That's a brilliant way of creating ideas. Try to spend some time observing the surroundings around you. But nature in itself is amazing in terms of creating new ideas, right? The last point, challenge yourself. Set yourself a goal and keep challenging yourself. This challenge will actually help you create a better version of yourself. And the more better you challenge yourself, you will have one idea after the other, which means you will stop thinking on the same lines of what you're thinking today, and you'll try to get into the next level. So collection and creation, these are the areas where I get my eureka moments for creating ideas. Okay, we're still in the first part, how to create ideas. Now, you all may be having ideas. Okay, in your daily life, you might be getting ideas, but how many of you get stuck when you write a speech? Do you get stuck when you write a speech? Yeah, Arij? Yes? Hussein? Yes? Mustafa? Yes? So it's basically what happens is for me.
Sometimes.
Asil? Yes? Okay. Right. So it's very simple, right? We have that eureka moment, could be created from a collection and create, which you're already following today. And then you sit to write a speech. This happens with me. I sit to write a speech, I write half, and then I say, no, this is not working out for me, right? I think something needs to be reworked. And then I write something else. And then probably I go back, I visit back, and then job calls me saying, where's your speech? Is it ready? And I just give a different speech altogether. I have no idea of what I spoke, but I gave a good speech. And then in Toastmasters, we all appreciate, because end of the day, your passion comes out, but then what you wanted to speak is not what you wrote and then what transpired later. So the whole effort, what you're doing today is your idea to be converted into a proper speech, and then it resonates well with the audience. That's what we are trying to connect the dots today. Okay, so stay with me. So I'll give you a technique for writing for converting an idea into a speech. Remember this, okay? SRL, simplify, relate, link. Okay, easy. Simplify, relate, and link. SRL technique. It works for me. I hope it works for you. Try this out. Now, what happens here is you have an idea. Okay, what you're doing is you're simplifying that idea further. You're breaking down that idea into all its benefits and disadvantages, whatever it is there. You're breaking down the idea into that, all of this, okay, simplifying. Then you're relating that idea into your real life, okay? And then once you relate that with your real life, you're linking it to a story which actually could be spoken in Toastmasters, okay? You may understand it better with an example, which is coming on the next page. Let's see how it works. Now, when I was a division contest runner-up, there was a speech which had mentioned about plans, and I loved that speech. The speech went this way. It was about relationships and plans, right? And how you need to take care of your plans. If you don't take care of plans, what happens? They die, right? They don't survive. So in relationships are the same. If you don't take care of the relationship, they also get affected. So that was my base of the relationship, and it was a very beautiful speech. It came out very well, and I went to the division contest with that speech. Now, this is how I had worked on the speech. First, I was just sitting one day. I was just thinking, what do I do? And it's a division contest. Contest season is there. Arij is a very good speaker. How do I compete with Arij? And then suddenly I see, okay, plans. Why don't I make a speech with plans? Okay. So then I started simplifying plants. So what do plants need? They need water, they need fresh air, they need a little bit of trimming here and there. If I don't do that, what happens? They die. And if I start providing them all the things which are required, what happens? They actually grow into a garden or a tall tree. Yeah, plants. So this is how I simplified my prop or an idea, which is plants. Then I decided to relate it into real life. Now, what is very similar to plants? Relationships? Yes, it's very similar to plants. They need to be appreciated, acknowledged, and without which the relationship breaks completely, right? So simplified plants, related that into relationship. Now linking that was to my story or a story of people around me. So here I connected to my personal story itself, a story where I was actually losing momentum in the relationship in between. Then how I decided to work on things and how I managed to just take care of the relationship. So I linked the story completely. So that's where it became a topic of 5 to 7 minutes, a nice speech where I could simplify plans, relate them to a real life, and then linked it to my particular story. Okay, easy to understand? Easy to understand? Okay. Now, why do we follow this technique? Because most of the times when we give a speech, we are giving bundle of ideas to the audience. Okay, I want you to put an order or a structure on that particular thought process. Maybe your thought process is a material of 2 speeches or 3 speeches. You don't need to put everything together, right? You need to choose the best of the moral or the story you need to bring in, and then push it to an area where the audience not only remembers it, but it just keeps resonating with the audience throughout the speeches, which means you need to form a base, and that base is your idea, your strength of the speech. Okay, that's where that base should be very strong, and this is why I'm actually introducing this technique to you all. So today in job speech, it was all about conflicts. So the conflict, so job's prop was actually a lemon juice for me. Okay, so there was for job, there was a job. You don't need to show a coin because everyone knows the coin has 2 sides. But your lemon juice is actually the prop. Okay, so so the prop of lemon juice, which says, okay, there is sometimes bitter, sometimes sweet, and conflicts are like that. It needs to be bitter and sweet, and both work together and get into a very nice juice. So something of that sort. So your story starts with the lemon juice, but the whole concept is all about conflict resolution, right? So what will happen is, Job, the next time someone picks a lemon juice in their hand, they need to think about conflict resolutions. You understand? Yeah. So that is how strongly you're pushing the message into the audience mind. You are not talking about lemon juice. That is not your hero. Your whole concept is surrounded around conflict resolution. But you make this prop so strong, the idea so strong to the audiences that they keep thinking about conflicts the moment they pick up a lemon juice. Yeah. The moment, if you try to build this particular thing around your speech, that becomes a contest material. Why? Because in contest, that's what they see. What is your purpose of the speech? Did you meet the purpose? Was there a prop? Was there an idea involved? how are you taking that idea and building it into a speech material? That's what people see in speeches. Okay. Now we will have a separate session for converting a speech into an international speech. That we'll do it later. But let's look at into different examples of ideas into speeches. Okay. Very simple. I talk about Maggie. Okay, or noodles basically. How many of you like noodles? Easy, right? It is always in the rack. Anytime you want, you can have it. There's nothing is complicated about the Maggie noodles. So let's say if I have to make a speech, I have no idea. I just look at the packet of Maggie noodles. So how do I simplify it? I simplify it by saying it's easy to make. Whatever I put in Maggie, it just blends with anything I put in. Okay, I can put a veggies, I can put a chicken, I can put whatever I want. Okay, it just blends in it. But the taste of Maggie still stands out, right? Okay, it's easy to cook, liked by almost everyone. There are very few people who does not like Maggie. Even if they dislike, it's only and only because it's slightly unhealthy. But it's sort of like goes well with everyone. It's something, it has a very nice personality, which is sort of pleasing for everyone. Now, how do I relate it with daily life? I wish people around would be like Maggie or noodles, basically. Why? Easily approachable and understanding, be flexible in any conflicts. You know how to put yourself, in spite of whatever stand you take, you still stand out with your opinions around. I wish it would be so nice, if people around are like noodles, easy to manage. Is it easy? No, it's not easy, but it's a wish list basically. Now, how do I link with your daily life? So you need to connect it with a real story. You were so and so person before, and what was the things which made you change? Okay, why is change is very important and for you and the people around you. Okay, this whole speech is not talking about Maggie and his noodles. It's all talking about change. Okay, whatever you put in the Maggie noodles, it changes, but it stands with its own identity, right? So that is the message which I wanted to convey with the noodles. So similarly, this is how the brainstorming works. Ideas, simplify, relate, link, and make it into your speeches. Are you all okay till here? Okay, fine. Let's do one thing. I will do a small exercise. I wanted to divide you into two groups, but then since we are a small team, let's open this session here itself, and then let's take notes from all of you. Okay. So we are all of you here, right? Jijo, you're around, right? Said, you're around. Nazneen, you're around.
Yes,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Jijo, you're a new Toastmaster, right? Okay, you finish icebreaker?
Yes.
Okay, you finish icebreaker. Come, let me give you a chance. Let's start the next slide. I want you to.
But I'm still like a beginner only. Yeah?
No problem. Absolutely. We all are beginners. No worries. Okay. So I'm just going to do an activity for 5 minutes. Let's look into that. Timer. My timing is 20 minutes. So just time me out if I am crossing 15 to 18 minutes. Okay. And then I'll do a wind up for you.
Unfortunately, I didn't record yours actually.
You did not?
Actually, I'm the timer here, but I didn't
okay.
record
No
yours actually.
No problem, Jijo. No problem. That's fine. So, Jijo, let's do this. Okay. I'll start with Jijo, guys, because he's a new Toastmaster. Jijo, glass of water. Okay. What do you think you can simplify or write the best things about a glass of water?
The first thing when we see a glass of water is the perception actually, that half empty, half that part of this.
Perfect. Okay.
Then it hydrates us. It's very essential to live actually.
Okay. It fulfills the thirst of all nationalities, irrespective of the sex or religion or caste. It helps in filling the purpose of everyone, right? That is quenching the thirst.
And the transparent.
Okay. Transparent, clear. You can see through it, right? Now, how do you relate it with the real world?
What do you say actually, like when you deal with people, if you see it should be transparent relationships.
Okay.
The deals in transparent way, like that actually.
Okay, so you wish relationships. I mean, people around could be more transparent like water. It's so easy, we get to know them. Even though it's very difficult, everyone is not the same. But still, you feel it would be so nice to deal with people if they're as transparent as water, right?
Yes,
And
we wish
now
that way.
let's take an example from your real life. Okay, have you faced any situation where you felt you could have been more transparent, or someone whom you met could have been more transparent, which have resolved a particular dispute or a conflict?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we come across those situations actually.
Right.
But,
right.
I don't
And
remember
then,
anything like that.
okay. Okay. You don't recollect anything like that. Okay. But then, are you able to connect to some story where you, or probably anything around you, probably, or could be like the situation would have been much easier if they are been as transparent as a glass of water?
Yes. In
Okay.
general, yes, yeah.
Fine. So my point is, there comes your first speech, which you can attempt, right? The concept of glass of water, and a message which says that life is so easy if you are as transparent as water. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy, to be as transparent as water, because water is a nature. It's a God's gift. But then we can work on it. We can definitely work on it, right? And that's an area which probably, even if we can get very close to it, even 1% as transparent as water, our life and people around our life would be like much comfortable, less conflicts, less issues for everybody, right? So Gio, this is what I'm just trying to brainstorm an area about how you can prepare a speech from an idea. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you mentioned three ideas, by the way. Perceptions, you spoke about perceptions, you spoke about transparency, right? And then you spoke about something else. So there are three different topics you have with you. So that's three different speeches altogether. You understand what you're looking at?
Yeah, got it. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great. Now, can we just do one more brainstorming with Hussein and Mustafa and Job, or people who are active?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sure. We can.
Yes.
Hussein and Mustafa and Job, let's start. Pizza. Simplified.
Yes.
When you see a pizza, what do you think?
Yummy.
I need more of them.
You need more.
One is never enough.
You're never satisfied whatever you have, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What else?
We cannot have a pizza alone. We need someone. So it's a group. It's something that connects with people.
Connects with
A
people.
party
Okay.
type.
Definitely. When I think of a pizza, I definitely call all my friends of my daughter, and I think about my friends. So it's something which really connects people, right? Okay. What else, Job?
I would love my pizza to be cheesy, lot of cheese.
Okay.
And I want the biggest one, I want a large pizza.
Right.
And I want more. Usually I prefer pizza to eat at home with my family.
Okay.
And the pizza should be hot.
Okay. Job, here the concept is to talk about pizza. When you see a pizza, what do you see? The features of pizza, the advantages, or what do you see with the best part of pizza? Right. When I see pizza, I see Toastmasters. Why? Because imagine that's one base where you can actually have so many things around. That's Toastmasters, right? All the people around us, the nationalities, the people around us, irrespective of whom we are, from where we come, what background we are, it holds all of us together, right? And we all can have a bite of it, and everyone shares it together in a very harmonious way. So that's what I see when I see a pizza. I see Toastmasters, right? So different people, different experiences, and different ways of looking at things. Now, starting with Hussein, you mentioned about when you see a pizza, you always want more. Okay, so
Yes.
in life, you are never satisfied with things, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
There's always a quotient where you want something better than that, right? That's how
Exactly.
you
Yes.
and then you link
Yes,
that with
right.
some stories, right? And then end of the story, you could put it like, were you really happy with that small greed or that unsatisfaction? Or you could also put it that because you're not satisfied, that's why you again went for it, right? So that small unsatisfaction is required in life so that we keep pushing ourselves again and again and again for something better, right? If we were satisfied with the pizza in the first place, we will not earn and we'll never work on getting a new pizza again, right? So that's how you can make a speech from the idea you had. Now, Mustafa, on the other hand, is more of a people's person. So, for pizzas, right. So for Mustafa is more of a people's person where he likes to that bonding which comes together. So you could say like in Kuwait we are like that actually. All nationalities they stay together, right? We celebrate everything, all festivals, everything we celebrate together. So it's more like a bonding area. You could speak about your personal experiences where you have people coming together, and then you could talk about areas where things did not work for some reasons, because of technology, where we are missing out that connection together. So so pizzas, let's bring people together, something of that sort. So this is how you simplify, relate, and link your ideas, right? Yeah. So that's just a way of brainstorming, you guys, as to how you can convert an idea into a speech. So when you're talking about an idea, all you need to keep in mind is collection and creation. And when you talk about, let's say, when you talk about a story, you need to just simplify, link, and relate. SLR. That's the one which you need to keep in mind. Okay. Now, there's one thing called Broom. We had this session with like 3-4 different rooms where I had actually kept Broom as one of the prop. So you can do this later whenever you guys have some time, just for you to guys to see even a simple prop can be made into a story, okay, and a speech. Now imagine if you have more fantastic ideas, what kind of materials can you create, right? That's really I want you to work on basically. So this basically summarizes my presentation today. I leave with the message, which is today's preparation definitely determines tomorrow's achievement. So prepare well. And for preparation, there are two things. One is a willingness, and second is a path. The willingness is something which comes from you. Path is what we can provide in Toastmasters. Okay, and that's exactly what we did today. I hope I did justice to all of you. If you need anything, you can give me a call. I'm actually part of the group now, so I'll be happy to assist. Any questions?
No, I think it's very wonderful. Thank you, DTM Rajesh. Rajesh is as already a Toastmaster of the day has announced, like he's the co-founder of this club, and he's back in action with us. So today's session is part 1 of the upcoming sessions. So we'll be having further 2 more sessions since we are approaching the speech contest, and we have none other than our Rajesh Venugopal, who will be helping us to prepare for the speeches and for the event. And let's see. Okay, what Toastmaster Hussein has any question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask that what was your idea behind finding Dreamweavers Toastmasters Club?
Right. So it went this way. We were part of Desert Pioneers. We went till the world 7th place, and then there was always a room and a scope where we need to start some things again. There were a lot of like-minded Toastmasters, and we wanted a platform where all of you could start together, and that's exactly where Dreamweavers was formed. Yeah. So it was just a branch or a sister or a baby of Desert Pioneers.
Thank you. Nice to be a part of Dreamweavers. Thank you.
It's a great club. So I think if there's no more questions, I'll hand over back to our dynamic Toastmaster Mustafa. TMOD, please take over. Thank you so much for your time.
Firstly, thank you so much. It was wonderful. Like you said, it was like Maggie. I always believe that any education, a simple education is never going into the head. You need to make it more entertaining, and you did it with full justice. You made it full interactive and everything, and it was the learning experience was like it was almost like our table topic. We did not miss that session. So thank you so much. It is we are really excited for the next 2 months. We are already excited about it. We are just looking forward to it. So now let's move on. Before we move on to the new segment, I would like to have a little bit interaction. Can you all just unmute yourself? I hope you are watching superhero movies I hope, I just hope. So let me now ask you few questions. I will just tell you the dialogue, and I would like you to tell me who said it. Who is the one who said this dialogue? Okay, let me read out. Okay, the first one is nature made me a freak, men made me a weapon, and God made me last too long. Can you guess who said this one? You can. The last line will give you out if you know a little bit about it.
Mm, Captain America. No?
No.
Any clue?
Uh,
Hulk.
not part of MCU as of now. He's not Marvel Cinematic Universe superhero, and still he lasts too long.
X-Men. Sorry, Wolverine.
Logan, and also known as Wolverine. The next one is very simple. Get this man a shield. Very famous dialogue. I don't know how.
Get this man a shield was. Hulk? No, who said this? Oh shit. I can't recollect it, but I have heard this.
Was it Captain American?
No, it was. Yeah, it was said about him, but somebody else said it. Who said it?
Iron Man.
Thor.
No. Any more guesses?
Stop showing the Tom Cruise thing. Annoying.
I will keep showing you all day. Okay, it is the Black Panther. He was the king of the Wakanda. Okay, the next one. With great power comes great
Spider-Man.
responsibility. Okay,
Spider-Man.
that's right. Next one is it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
Batman.
Batman.
Yes, that's right. Next one. If you are nothing without this suit, you shouldn't have it.
Iron Man.
Yes. He said it to the Spider-Man. Okay, this one is very interesting. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they can't be saved.
Doctor Strange?
No.
No idea.
Also from X-Men.
X-Men. Magneto?
No.
Dr. Charles X.
Yes. Charles Xavier. And he's
Yes.
very interesting because he said to himself, his past self, he went to the past and he explained it to him and he motivated him. Okay. This one is very interesting. Dharmamu, I have come here to bargain.
Doctor Strange.
Yes. He said it almost maybe 8 to 10 times. Okay. So let's end our wonderful quiz. And then now we move on to our very important segment of the day, that is evaluation. So I'll now hand it over to Toastmaster Hussain, who is our general evaluator of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Hussain.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa. I hope all of you are enjoying this meeting. And now we have reached to one of the most important sessions where we will reflect the good things that happened during this meeting, as well as some areas of improvement. This session will be divided into 3 parts. In the first part, the evaluators will be evaluating the prepared speeches. In the second part, we will have the grammarian and a counter report. And the third part is obviously my report. So before we call upon the evaluators, let me request the timer to explain the timing guidelines for the evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Jijo.
Thanks, TM Hussain. For the speech evaluation, the time ranges from 2 to 3 minutes. When it reaches 2 minutes, I will show you the green background. When it reaches 2 minutes 30 seconds, yellow background will be shown, and to the maximum 3 minute, red background will be shown. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jijo. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Asil, who will be targeting her target speaker, Toastmaster Syed. Over to you, Toastmaster Asil.
Hello, good evening. Hello again. Wow. It was the first time I guessed to evaluate Toastmaster Syed, and that was incredible. It actually relates how I evaluate Toastmaster Job Daniel. He also did the mentorship pathway, and he also mentioned Alan Paul. He is everywhere. I keep hearing about him. Wow. I really like his confidence. It was really amazing. When you show you are confident, everyone would know that you are well prepared and that you are ready to speak up and share your experience. Great gesture. There were so many multiple gestures. Your facial expression when you use introduction to attract the audience, connect with your audience. Connecting with your audience is great. It's very important when delivering a speech. Eye contact. You had great eye contact. And you mentioned mentorship inside and outside Toastmaster when you mentioned grade 9. Inside Toastmaster when you mentioned your mentor. When you also mentioned Alan Paul. He is everywhere. How amazing childhood memory. Of course, everyone needs area of improvement. To be honest, I could not find many areas for improvement. You did a really good job. I could not find any fault. Not that I was looking for any fault. I was looking for areas of improvement, because when you improve yourself, you will do more better than you already did today. Still, I want to talk about the specific point I noticed. Yes, your voice was clear. Everyone heard you. One small minor. It was the same volume. You did not make high voice or low voice. Of course, it's important when you talk about specific thing. When you want to talk about something exciting, make your voice higher. When you want to talk about something simple, you make it low. Of course, that's for everyone to decide which pitch of voice to use in their speech. All in all, you did a really good job. Great job talking about your experience. Great job letting everyone know that mentorship is very important inside and outside Toastmaster. And I'm sure you do great and even better when you work more on your vocal variety. I myself guilty about vocal variety. I'm working on it with my mentor, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it with your mentor. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asil. Inshallah, we'll do that.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asil, for that wonderful evaluation. Now we move on to our second evaluator, DTM Rajesh, who, despite not being well, decided to join our meeting. We thank you and wish you a speedy recovery. Her target speaker is Toastmaster Job Daniel. Over to you, evaluator and DTM Rajesh.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hussein. Today we have seen an amazing speech delivered by Toastmaster Job Daniel. Don't you all agree with that? How many of you remember the lemon juice and the argument he has with his wife about the lemon juice, right? Exactly, all of us knows that, and all of us can taste the lemon juice, because when he drank it, I felt like, oh, I am in need of that lemon juice, regardless to the taste. So let me start my evaluation to you, Toastmaster Job, with the strength points you have showed today. You started with a quote that hooked everyone, and everyone wanted to hear more about your speech and what you are going to say next. So the hook was great. Also, you were involving the audience with your speech by asking them questions, and everyone had that moment that felt related to your speech from the things you have shared today. Also, part of the objectives you had today to tell us about your understanding from the conflict, you were saying that conflict turns people to monsters. I like the sentence, and I felt that this is something nice. So I love the way how you talked about it. Now, moving to the points that you need to improve it, you didn't move a lot, which is fine, but it was obvious that you had a paper in front of you trying to read some parts of your speech from it, right? Right? So try to not memorize it. Don't memorize your speech, but at least understand it in a way you can deliver it even without reading the paper, or if you missed anything, you will be able to cover it with any other ideas in your head. So try not to use this paper. Now, one more thing I want to comment, because I'm a lady and I felt bad for your wife. When you were saying that your wife made you a sour juice, you didn't hear what you said. You said, go and make me a cup of lemon juice. Where did you mention the sugar in between? Right? So conflict can come also from the way you are saying things, right? So this is another part of how to resolve conflict, that we need to understand the whole situation, which is you have delivered a very nice speech. I loved it. I enjoyed every part of it, honestly. To summarize, you had a great hook in the beginning. You had a great point to deliver and involve the audience. Only you need to worry about the paper. Other than that, you did a great job, and I'm waiting to see the other speeches. Thank you, and back to you, dear evaluator.
Thank you so much, DTM Harish, for that amazing feedback. Now I would request our timer to let us know if both the evaluators have qualified.
Yes, both have qualified. TM Azid took 2 minutes and 53 seconds. TM Arish took 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jijo. So can we have the polls for the best evaluator, or is it later?
Yes, it's ready. I'll run the polls now. Toastmaster Jijo, also, can you please let us know the timing for the speeches so that we can run both the polls together?
Sure.
Both qualified?
Yes, both qualified. TM Said took 6 minutes 31 seconds. TM Job took 7 minutes 7 seconds. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay, the polls are launched for the best speaker. Poll is launched for the best evaluator. Okay, the polls are done. Can continue.
All right, thank you, Tech Moderator. Now, moving on to the second part of evaluation, we have our grammarian and our counter reports. So to present the grammarian report, we have our grammarian who also happens to be the Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa. Can we have the report, grammarian report, please? Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Hussain. So I'll start with the word of the day. The word of the day was exemplary, and unfortunately, I could not detect anybody using it. But I hope outside the meeting, people will use it. Uh, Moving forward, I found some very good usage of language. Firstly, I would like to point out the story of fish and monkey was very good. Then there was some quotes like it's more rewarding to resolve a conflict than to dissolve a relation. Very good. Conflicts lead to a unity. Then life is easier if transparent and water. So these are some few things that I really like. Over to you, Toastmaster Hussain.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mustafa, for that report. Now, I would like to introduce our counter, who also is the acting president for today, Toastmaster Job Daniels. I would like to request him to present the report. Over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Actually, this ahs and ums are really a killer for each and everyone. And in Toastmaster, this is a very unique platform where you're getting evaluated for the usage of ahs and ums. Nowhere in the world you will get this opportunity that someone is sitting there to monitor that how many ahs and ums this person has used. So I like to start with my report. Our TMOD Toastmaster Mustafa had the maximum ahs and ums. I think what I had counted, it's like around 7 or 8 hours, and he has he's using ums quite often, which he has to focus in his upcoming meetings. After that, I'll go with our first speaker. Toastmaster Sayed had 4 hours and 2 ums, and of course I myself had many ums and ahs which I did not count. Our Toastmaster Asil had 2 ums and 3 hours. DTM Marij, since she's sick, I did not monitor anything from her side. It is very kind of her to at least come and attend the meeting. I really appreciate her dedication and efforts. Really, hats off and a big salute to her. And our DTM Rajesh, our special guest or the speaker, he was very much fluent. There was nothing, I did not catch anything from his end. He is like speaking like with the flow of water. So it's very good. And I think that's it. Nothing much from anyone else. Toastmaster Hussain also, I just noticed 1 hour it was, so I did not mention anything. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jobs, for that amazing report. Now, after all the reports, now it's time for my report, which is the general evaluation report. Well, the meeting almost started on time. Maybe I think a couple of minutes late, but it's okay, fine. Our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Jijo, he made a wonderful start by explaining the rules and mission of Toastmasters meetings. He handed over to our VP Education, Toastmaster Job at Daniels, who is the acting president today. Well, I think after DTM Allen, he has been the savior of our club. In fact, a superhero. Most of the time, he's taking dual roles and still performing them with ease. Even today, while there was a last minute change in the R counter role in the meeting, but he still handled it very smoothly and took over the role. He gave a warm and welcoming introduction to the meeting and very well explained the role players. In fact, he also introduced the guests very well. Now, coming to the TMOD, Toastmaster Mustafa, he chose a wonderful theme, be a superhero. Great presentation slides with lots of humor and valuable information. In fact, whenever I was just thinking that if we have offline meetings, we can have this theme as well, and all the TMs can be, dressed in different superhero costumes. I think it will be more fun. What do you think, right? And just one suggestion I had for Toastmaster Mustafa. I think between two speeches, he presented some slides. I think intentionally or unintentionally, but I think he could have shifted that after the speeches to maintain the continuity. But overall, it was a great theme, and we really had a good time to be a part of it. Now, today we had an exemplary educational session. Today's preparation determines tomorrow's success by TTM Rajesh Venugopal. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. It was indeed a great learning curve for all of us. I will definitely keep the points in mind to prepare my next speech. The SRLN, well, it was amazing. We also hope to have such more sessions from you in future. Thank you so much, DTM Rajesh. Speaking about the R counter and grammarian roles, they provided the perfect report, and I think we should all concentrate on using more of the word of the day, exemplary. I think it was not used as our grammarian very well told us. So I think we should focus more on that and use more of the word of the day. Now, evaluators, yes, Toastmaster Seal, she gave a wonderful evaluation, and DTM Arish, even as I mentioned that she's not well, but still she gave a very wonderful evaluation, very positive, very motivating. And I hope the speakers will take that evaluation and try to prepare and make the speeches better next time. So all in all, I think it was a great meeting. It was a very fun-filling meeting with that educational session in between. And I hope you all enjoyed it a lot. And I would like to now hand over the stage to our Toastmasters of the day, Toastmaster Mustafa.
Thank you so much. It was a great evaluation. And now let's move into the end. We are moving to the end. So now I would like to tell you, I would like to conclude everything with a simple message: how to be a superhero. Of course, we will not be able to fly or teleport ourselves, but there are few things that I would like to you all to focus on. The first thing is use the thing you have to help someone with who do not have it. If you have something, help others, and that will make you a superhero. Secondly, keep yourself healthy. No super. Can you just imagine superhero being very weak and dull? He cannot do help himself. How he will help others? So it's really important that you be healthy. That is also a quality of being a superhero. And have to fight with somebody with your fist and the sword, but you have to make point, you have to put your point, and as Toastmaster Job said, you have to pick the conflict, and conflicts are healthy as well. So you have to just put your point and put your fight. And then the next one is make someone's day. If you're doing something very special for someone and you're making someone's day, then you are a superhero for him and for all. One more point is stay optimistic. If you are not losing hope, if you are being positive, never do anything for the credit. If you're doing it for the credit, you're not a superhero. Remember, superheroes are very masked because they are not doing it for the credit, they are doing for the good. And with that, I would like to conclude my day, and I would like to hand it over to our acting president, Toastmaster Joe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, TMOD Mustafa. What a wonderful session conducted by you. I think this is your second time that you have taken up the role as a TMOD, and we all can see it's improving by every meeting. Now we have the polls for best role player. Let me just run the poll, and after that we can continue. I have initiated the polls. Okay, the polls are finished. The greatest barrier to success is a fear of failure. As you all know that everyone has the fear of failure. We worry that what if I fail? So that is a mental barrier at the same time, which is pulling you back from accomplishing your goals or reaching to your target. So what happens in Toastmasters? We are all assembled over here. We're spending these 2 hours to overcome that barrier. We are speaking and talking. We are spending our time with all the different members so that we can make a better version of ours. So today we have with us 2 guests and Toastmaster Asil. She is a member of a different club, but she is always a superhero for us all. I would like to hear from Toastmaster Asil about today's meeting.
It was really a great meeting, great mentioning the superheroes because I really love the Marvels. I don't watch all of it. I only have favorites like the Fantastic Four, Batman, Black Panther. My absolute favorite is Spider-Man. If my brother-in-law was here, he would have answered all the questions correctly, the quotes. I really enjoyed listening to both speakers. Toastmaster Daniel, you really made me laugh about the whole lemon thing. I see these kind of comedy in movies in Egypt. I don't like sour, so I really felt sorry for you. I really like this activity. And because you all made me hungry showing the pizza, you're gonna have to order for me Pizza Hut. So thank you so much for having me over. Thank you for inviting me to Smith's Job, Danielle. I actually felt like a bit of a superhero, not to brag and all, but sometimes I feel like it. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asil. Toastmaster Asil is actually our last hope whenever we are not able to find any role players or our role players are in short. So we just ask her and she's here with her cape. Now we have our guest, Romerio. He's an IT professional and he has taken time today to join our meeting. So I would like to hear from Romerio, what do you feel about today's meeting and what is your opinion and what are the things that you like and what are your plans? Over to you, Romerio.
Yeah, thanks, Job. Actually, the meeting was very knowledgeable, to say the least. I learned a lot of new things like different ways to speak, different ways to express yourself, different words, how to put in words in between your sentences, and all of that. So it was a new experience for me. It's great. Job and Sayed spoke very well. Their stories were very interesting, and there was a lot of knowledge in that. Something to learn. Yeah, all other speakers and all other members who had their roles did their job very well, and yeah, so I felt good.
Okay, thank you,
Yes,
Romerio. Looking forward for you to join us and come for our other meeting also. Okay, our membership will contact you if you're interested to join our club. You can surely join our club. Toastmaster is a platform where we are getting an opportunity to personally enhance our skills in terms of speaking and the confidence that you are getting. You might be knowing me personally since the last 5-6 years because we are working in the same company. And Toastmaster Sayyid also, how we have got an opportunity to develop ourselves is really remarkable. Now, I would like to ask our other guest, Nazreen Siddiqui, if you are available. What I would like to hear from you. What is your opinion and how do you feel attending today's meeting?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm feel very good because my English skill is not too good. I am here for learning, improve my English speaking. So it's a very good experience. This meeting is very useful for me. Nothing, it's very useful for me. So I want to tell you guys. Can you give me suggestion how to improve my English skills?
Okay,
And
thank you, Nazreen. It
I would
is
suggest
wonderful
you
that
if
you have come to the. Sorry, Mustafa, you're telling something.
you watch English movies.
Yeah, okay. So that is one suggestion from Toastmaster Mustafa is to watch English movies. Of course, that is a very good suggestion. And at the same time, you can read books, English books, which will complement to that. At the same time, you can try to participate in Toastmaster where you are there's no one to develop or improve, but there are mentors who are assigned who will be taking care of your needs or who will guide you on how to deliver a speech or how to speak confidently. If you get confidence in yourself, you can conquer any mountain or any Everest. So that is the biggest thing that you can get from Toastmasters. You can get the confidence. So all your language barriers can be covered easily. So if you can let us know, our membership team will contact you, and will be more than happy to have you on board on our club. Now, with this, I think I will announce the winners for today's meeting as we are coming close. Fine. So the best speaker it's me. Actually, there's no competition. There's only two speakers. Even Toastmaster Sayed did a very wonderful speech, and but of course we need to have a winner. Everyone is a winner who is a Toastmaster, who is delivering the speech, or who is a participant is a winner. I thank myself, and the best evaluator award is going to DTM Arich. What a wonderful evaluation from DTM Arich. For the best role player goes to our TMOD, Toastmaster Mustafa. What a wonderful performance. Yes, I think it's all good. We are starting with a new week from tomorrow. I wish you all the best. We had a lot of events like Toastmaster Sayed, as he has his wedding anniversary. He's celebrating it outside. But in spite of that, he was able to come to the meeting and present his speech. Our President Kabir is not here. He has flown to India. He has some emergency. His father is not keeping well. So we wish his father all the good health. And with this, I announce the meeting is over. Meeting is closed. Our next meeting, we have a photograph session. Our next meeting is on 23rd of October. let's take a photograph. Let's, if possible, to open your camera. Asil, Sayed. Is there any pose for superhero? Superhero, salute. Salute for the superheroes. Mustafa, Chijo, salute. Okay, let's take a photograph. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Have a
guys.
happy week.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
Yeah.
Good night, all.
night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.